Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you something very simple, but very uncomfortable. What if your entire life could change with just 90 minutes a day? Yes, not 10 hours, not 5 years, just 90 focused, intentional, disciplined minutes every single day. We all admire successful people. We clap for them. We share their quotes. We say, wow, what an inspiring story. But we forget the invisible part, the daily discipline. Look at the life of Muniba Mazari, a woman who was told she would never walk again, a woman who could have chosen bitterness, but instead chose purpose. She did not build her strength in one day. She built it in moments, in focused hours, in daily mental training. And that is your first lesson. Greatness is not created in public. It is built in private. Now let's make this practical, educational, actionable. What do you do in those 90 minutes? First, 30 minutes for your body. Not because you want abs, not because you want validation, because your body is your energy system. Walk, stretch, exercise, train. Movement builds confidence. Movement clears anxiety. Movement reminds you that you are alive. Second, 30 minutes for your mind. Read, learn, study, develop a skill. No scrolling, no gossip, no comparison. Feed your brain knowledge that makes you sharper, stronger, wiser. If you invest 30 minutes daily in learning, in 1 year you will not be the same person. And third, 30 minutes for your future. Work on that project, that dream, that business idea, that exam preparation. Not someday, not when you feel ready. Today. Do you know what destroys more dreams than failure? Distraction. You say you don't have time, but check your screen time. You say you are tired, but you have energy for complaining. You say life is unfair. Yes, sometimes it is, but staying stuck is a choice. Muniba didn't wait for perfect conditions. She created purpose inside imperfect circumstances. That is power. And let me teach you something very important. Yanivas, motivation fades. Discipline remains. If you wait until you feel like it, you will wait forever. But if you decide that 90 minutes is non-negotiable, like brushing your teeth, your life begins to transform. Because discipline builds self-respect. Because discipline builds self-respect. When you promise yourself 90 minutes, and you keep that promise, you look in the mirror differently. You walk differently. You speak differently. And slowly your confidence stops depending on applause. Education is not only what you learn in school. Education is what you practice daily. Education is self-mastery. Imagine this 90 minutes times 365 days equals 547 hours a year. 547 hours a year. 547 hours of improvement. Do you think your life would stay the same? No. You would become stronger, smarter, focused, unstoppable. So today, don't wait for tragedy to wake you up. Don't wait for loss to teach you gratitude. Don't wait for loss to teach you gratitude. Don't wait for pain to force discipline. Choose it. Start small. Start imperfect. But start. Because one day you will either say, wish I had started, or I'm glad I didn't quit. And remember this, your current situation is not your final destination. 90 minutes a day, for your body, for your mind, for your future. That is not sacrifice. That is self-respect. And when you respect yourself, the world begins to respect you too. Listen to me carefully, because this might be the wake-up call you didn't know you needed. 90 minutes. That's it. 1 hour and 30 minutes out of 24 hours that you've been gifted today. And you're telling me you don't have time. No, my friend. It's not about time. It's about priority. It's about decision. It's about discipline. You don't need a new year. You don't need a tragedy. You don't need someone to leave you or life to shake you. You need structure. You need focus. You need 90 sacred minutes that belong to your growth and nothing else. When you sit down for those 90 minutes, you are making a statement. You are telling the world, I am serious about my life. You are telling your excuses, you no longer control me. You are telling your fears, you will not dictate my future. That is powerful. But here is the truth most people avoid. Focus discipline is uncomfortable. It requires you to turn off distractions. It requires you to silence notifications. It requires you to say no. And oh, how we struggle with that word. No. No to scrolling, no to gossip, no to laziness, no to the comfortable routine that keeps you average. Because average is easy. Discipline is rare, destiny. Discipline is rare. Those 90 minutes must be intentional. Not half working and half checking messages. Not studying while watching videos. No. Total focus. Deep concentration. When you train your mind to stay locked in on one task for 90 minutes, you are building mental muscle. And mental muscle changes everything. Do you know what most successful people have in common? It's not talent. It's not luck. It's not background. It's not background. It's the ability to sit down and work with intensity when they don't feel like it. They don't negotiate with their mood. They don't wait for inspiration. They decide, and they execute. Imagine this, every single day, without drama, without announcement, without posting it online, you give 90 minutes to becoming better. You don't need applause. You don't need validation. You need results. And results come from repetition. The first week will be hard. Your mind will resist. It will whisper. Later, tomorrow, you deserve a break. That voice has been controlling you for years. And now you must answer back with strength. Not today, because every time you complete those 90 minutes, something shifts inside you. You start trusting yourself. You start believing your own promises. Confidence is not built by motivational quotes. It is built by keeping commitments to yourself. 90 minutes a day is not about productivity only. It is about identity. It is about becoming the kind of person who shows up. The kind of person who finishes. The kind of person who finishes. The kind of person who respects their potential too much to waste it. And once you taste the results of disciplined focus, once you see your skills improving, your clarity sharpening, your energy rising, you will realize that the real addiction was never distraction. The real power was always inside your consistency. Let me tell you something that may shake you a little. Pain is not your enemy. Pain is a teacher. Pain is a mirror. Pain is a turning point. The real question is not, why did this happen to me? The real question is, what will I do with what happened to me? Look at the life of Muniba Mazari. A tragic accident changed her body forever. She could have surrendered to bitterness. She could have allowed anger to define her identity. She could have said life is unfair and stopped there. But she didn't. She transformed her pain into purpose. That is not luck. That is not magic. That is a decision. And you, yes, you have your own story of pain. Maybe not the same, maybe not physical, but emotional wounds, betrayals, failures, rejections, losses. The rejections, losses, we all carry something. The difference between those who rise and those who remain stuck is this. One chooses to grow through it. Stop asking for a life without difficulty. That life does not exist. Instead, ask for strength. Ask for perspective. Ask for wisdom. Because pain, when managed correctly, becomes fuel. It sharpens you. It humbles you. It deepens your empathy. It forces you to discover strength you didn't know you had. But be careful. Pain can either build you or break you. If you feed it resentment, it becomes poison. If you feed it purpose, it becomes power. How do you turn pain into purpose? First, accept it. Don't deny it. Don't pretend it didn't hurt. Acknowledge it. Say, yes, this hurt me. Yes, this changed me. Acceptance is not weakness. It is maturity. Second, extract the lesson. Every painful experience carries a message. Maybe it taught you boundaries. Maybe it taught you resilience. Maybe it revealed who truly stands by you. If you refuse to learn the lesson, you will repeat the pain. And repetition without reflection becomes suffering. Third, use it to serve others. The most powerful voices in this world are not those who lived perfect lives. They are the ones who survived storms and decided to light the way for others. Your struggle gives you credibility. Your scars give you authority. When you speak from experience, people listen differently. Do not waste your wounds. Do not waste your tears. Do not waste the nights you thought you wouldn't survive. Those moments are shaping you into someone stronger, wiser, deeper. You may not control what happened to you, but you control what happens next. You control what happens next. You control your attitude. You control your response. You control whether your pain becomes your prison or your platform. And listen carefully. Your story is not over. The chapter that hurt you is not the final chapter. It is a turning point. It is preparation. It is transformation happening in disguise. Stand up inside your circumstances. Say to yourself, this will not define me. This will refine me. Because when you choose purpose over pity, strength over surrender, growth over bitterness, you don't just survive your pain, you rise because of it. Before you try to conquer the world, conquer your mind. Before you chase success outside, build stray, India inside. Because let me tell you something, with absolute certainty, if your mind is weak, your goals will collapse under pressure. We spend so much time training our bodies, improving our appearance, chasing money, chasing recognition, but we ignore the control center of our entire life, our thoughts. And then we wonder why we sabotage ourselves. We wonder why we quit when things get hard. We wonder why fear paralyzes us. Mental training is not optional. It is essential. Every morning, whether you realize it or not, your mind is being programmed. The question is, who is programming it? Is it social media? Is it negative people? Is it your past failures whispering doubts? Or is it you? If you do not take control of your mind, your environment will do it for you. Training your mind means choosing what you focus on. It means catching negative thoughts before they grow roots. It means refusing to speak to yourself in a way you would never speak to someone you love. The battle is internal before it is external. You say you want confidence. Confidence begins in your internal dialogue. You say you want discipline. Discipline begins in your ability to control impulses. You say you want success. Success begins in how you respond to discomfort. When things go wrong, what is your first reaction? Panic, blame, self-doubt. That reaction is a habit, and habits can be trained. Mental training requires repetition, daily reflection, daily gratitude, daily visualization. You must see yourself winning before the world sees it. You must believe you are capable before results appear. Because if you wait for proof, you will wait forever. Strong minds are built in uncomfortable moments. When you want to quit but choose to continue. When you feel fear but take action anyway. When rejection hits you but you refuse to make it your identity. That is mental strength being formed. And listen carefully. Your mind believes what you repeatedly tell it. If you constantly say, I can't, I'm not good enough, I always fail, your brain will search for evidence to confirm that story. But if you say, I am learning, I am growing, I am capable of improving, your brain begins to look for solutions instead of excuses. Do not underestimate the power of controlled focus. If you train your mind to concentrate deeply for 90 minutes, you are not just improving productivity. You are strengthening your attention span in a world addicted to distraction. That alone gives you an advantage. You cannot always control circumstances, you cannot always control outcomes, but you can control your response. And that response determines your future. Your mind is like a muscle. If you let it be lazy, it becomes weak. If you challenge it, stretch it, discipline it, it becomes resilient. And once your mind is trained, your body follows. Your actions follow. Your results follow. Your results follow. Win the war inside your head, and the battles outside will no longer intimidate you. Let me tell you something that might challenge you. Motivation is beautiful, but it is unreliable. It comes and goes like emotion. One day you feel unstoppable. The next day you feel tired, distracted, discouraged. If your progress depends on how you feel, you will live in a cycle of starting and stopping, full of excitement, but empty of results. Consistency is different. Consistency does not ask you how you feel. Consistency does not care about your mood. It shows up anyway. You wake up and you don't feel like training. You do it. You don't feel like studying. You do it. You don't feel like studying. You act anyway. That is power. Motivation screams. Consistency whispers. Motivation is emotional. Consistency whispers. Motivation is emotional. Consistency is disciplined, and discipline is what builds real success. E-health, business, relationships, personal growth. The people who win are not the ones who felt motivated every day. They are the ones who refused to break the pattern. They built a rhythm. They built a routine. They made their progress non-negotiable. You don't brush your teeth because you're motivated. You brush them because it's a habit. Imagine if your goals had that same level of routine. Imagine if working on yourself for 90 minutes a day became as automatic as checking your phone. Your life would transform without drama, without hype, without constant emotional highs. The problem is, we chase excitement instead of commitment. We want to feel the fire, we want that rush of inspiration. But fire that burns too fast dies too fast. Slow, steady heat, that's what shapes steel. Consistency is not glamorous. It's repetitive, it's quiet, it's sometimes boring. And that's exactly why most people quit. They confuse boredom with failure. They think if it's not exciting, it's not working. But growth often feels ordinary while it's happening. Let me be clear. The days you don't feel like doing it are the days that matter most. Anyone can work when they feel good. Anyone can try when energy is high. But when you're tired, stressed, discouraged, and you still show up, that is when you build character. Every time you repeat the right action, even imperfectly, you are voting for the person you want to become. You are casting the vote for discipline. You are casting the vote for strength. And those votes accumulate. Stop waiting to feel ready. Ready is a myth. Ready is built through repetition. The more consistent you are, the more confident you become. Why? Because you trust yourself. And self-trust is born from keeping small promises daily. Do not underestimate small progress. 90 minutes a day may not look dramatic in 1 week, but in 1 year, it becomes transformation. Consistency turns effort into identity. You are no longer someone who tries, you are someone who does. You are no longer someone who starts, you are someone who finishes. And when consistency becomes part of who you are, success stops being luck and starts becoming inevitable. Let's talk honestly. Excuses are comfortable. They protect your ego. They give you a temporary escape from responsibility. They sound logical. They sound justified. I'm too tired. I don't have time. It's not the right moment. I'll start next week. And every time you say those words, you feel relieved, but you also weaken yourself. Because every excuse you repeat becomes a brick in the wall between you and your potential. Eliminating excuses is not about being perfect. It's about being accountable. It's about standing in front of the mirror and saying, I am responsible for where I am. Not your past, not your parents, not the economy, not bad luck. Yes, circumstances matter. Yes, life can be unfair. But your response, that belongs to you, when you constantly justify why you didn't show up, you slowly lose self-respect. And self-respect is everything. Without it, you doubt yourself. You hesitate. You shrink. You stop believing in your own word. But when you say no more excuses, something powerful happens. You stop negotiating with weakness. You stop making deals with laziness. You stop lowering your standards to fit your comfort zone. Excuses are sneaky. They don't appear as enemies. They appear as reasonable thoughts. You deserve a break. You worked hard yesterday. 1 day won't matter, but 1 day becomes 2. 2 becomes a week. A week becomes a habit. And suddenly months have passed and nothing has changed. You don't need more motivation. You need standards. When your standards are high, excuses sound ridiculous. When you respect your goals, you protect them. You treat your 90 minutes like an appointment with your future. You would never miss a job interview casually. So why miss an appointment with your own growth of your... Listen carefully. Every time you choose discipline over excuse, you strengthen your character. And character is what sustains success. Self-respect is built in private moments, when nobody is watching, when nobody is applauding, when nobody would know if you skipped it, and you do it anyway. That's integrity. That's strength. That's the moment you start becoming dangerous to mediocrity. Stop saying I'll try. Trying leaves space for escape. Say I will. That is commitment. That is ownership. Yes, you will feel resistance. Yes, you will feel tired. Some days, yes, unexpected problems will arise. But disciplined people don't look for reasons to quit. They look for adjustments to continue. And let me tell you something powerful. The more you keep promises to yourself, the more your confidence rises naturally. Not fake confidence, not loud confidence, not loud confidence. Quiet, solid confidence. The kind that comes from knowing, I do what I say. Excuses steal your power, responsibility restores it. When you eliminate excuses, you eliminate the gap between intention and action. And when your actions align with your words, you don't just chase success, you become someone worthy of it. Designing a life of impact is not something that happens by accident. It is not luck. It is not coincidence. It is construction. And construction requires intention. You don't wake up one day and suddenly become influential, respected, fulfilled. You build that identity, daily habit by habit, decision by decision. Most people drift through life, reacting to problems, reacting to emotions, reacting to other people's expectations. But if you want impact, you cannot live in reaction mode. You must live in creation mode. Ask yourself, what kind of person do I want to become? Not what job do I want? Not what car do I want? Who do I want to be? Disciplined? Resilient? Wise? Healthy? Focused? Because impact is not about position. It is about character. Your daily habits are votes. Every single day, you are casting votes for your future identity. When you commit to 90 minutes of growth, you are voting for excellence. When you choose learning over scrolling, you are voting for wisdom. When you choose discipline over comfort, you are voting for leadership. And leadership does not begin when people follow you. It begins when you lead yourself. Impact is not measured only by money or fame. Impact is measured by influence, by the way you inspire your family, by the example you set for your children, by the courage you show in difficult moments, by the discipline you model when nobody is watching. Do not underestimate the ripple effect of your habits. When you improve yourself, you change conversations, you change standards, you change environments. People notice consistency. They notice growth. They may not say it, but they feel it. But here is the truth. If you do not design your life intentionally, someone else will design it for you. Society will tell you what success looks like. Social media will tell you what happiness looks like. And you will chase images instead of purpose. Design requires clarity. Clarity requires reflection. That is why your daily 90 minutes matter. They are not just for productivity. They are for direction. They are for alignment. They are for making sure your actions match your values. You want impact? Then build habits that outlive motivation. Build routines that protect your focus. Build discipline that strengthens your credibility. Because impact without integrity collapses. Think long term. Think legacy. What will people say about your consistency? About your work ethic? About your commitment to growth? You are writing that story right now, with what you choose to do today. A powerful life is not loud. It is steady. It is intentional. It is built brick by brick. And every disciplined day adds another brick to the structure of your future. You do not need permission to build a meaningful life. You need commitment. You need vision. You need daily action aligned with that vision. And when your habits match your purpose, your life stops being ordinary and starts becoming extraordinary through quiet, relentless consistency.